JD, how are you, man?
I am busy on this early signing period. The NCAA. If people want to get mad right now, we're all about to talk about be mad at the NCAA because this calendar of a December 3rd signing period for high school kids, when you hire a head coach right when the season ends, gives you about 3 days, and a new staff has a vision of what they want, and the old staff has a vision of what they set up, and those are not always going to line up.
I think that's pretty evident based on what's happened here just in the last few hours. Okay, let's start, if we could, Shea, with tight end J.C. Anderson. So this is the first flip of the Lane Kiffin, the first commitment of the Lane Kiffin era. What can you tell us about J.C. Anderson?
Yeah, he is a four-star tight end, a guy that had been committed to Ole Miss. Co-offensive coordinator, tight ends coach Joe Cox had been spearheading that. Charlie Weiss was a secondary recruiter there as well. And it became evident he's from Illinois, right when that staff change happened, those guys left. He said, hey, if I've got a spot at LSU, get down there, let me know. They did. They made everything work. They got paperwork over to him to sign tomorrow, so he went ahead and made the flip official. So a very much a need position, 6'6", 230, ranked as the number 11 tight end in the country on the Rivals industry rankings. So the first commitment of the Lane Kiffin era, no shocker, is a flip from Ole Miss.
Yeah, I anticipate we'll probably see more of these in the coming, certainly the coming days and weeks. We'll get right back to the video, but thrilled to welcome Our Lady of the Lake to AFR LSU. As the championship health partner of LSU athletics, the physicians at Our Lady of the Lake serve the champions on the field in the purple and gold, but that same level of care is available to you and your family. I've been a proud supporter of Our Lady of the Lake my entire life, from volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Playroom as a high schooler to helping so many of the fundraising efforts for the standalone Children's Hospital, to my own son being a patient now at that very Children's Hospital, and my primary care physician, Dr. Kurt Chastain, at Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. Our Lady of the Lake has been a part of my medical journey my entire life, and you can learn more as well. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. Let me ask about Jaylen Chapman, who was the lowest rated prospect in the LSU class. And Shea, I can't help but think about what we heard Lane Kiffin say on Monday, where he said they weren't just going to take guys because they went to a certain school, and they weren't going to take guys just to take guys. It feels like this is a purge. What can you tell us about what happened here with Chapman?
I think it's just a situation, Matt, where the new staff comes in, evaluates the commitment list, and says this is probably best for both parties if we go in different directions. And the timing of it, obviously, the day before a 3-day window of an early signing period is a bit unfortunate. There is the February signing period, but this is the kind of stuff that happens each year, even if there's not a coaching change. We see kind of late ads and attrition happen. But when you do have a coaching change and you've brought with it, so far, as you just noted, not just on-field staffers, off-field staffers, all of them are going to have a view of what they want this recruiting class to look like. So things are moving very quickly, and a lot of these guys are being informed of this right now, within 24 hours of, expecting to sign with LSU.
And as I noticed here, literally since we started the show, Shea, there's another one in wide receiver Kenny Darby. This one surprises me as a really highly rated guy. What can you tell us what you know about Kenny Darby's decommitment?
This was another one where the new staff just said, hey, look, we're going to go in a different direction. And Kenny Darby had been shut down his recruitment multiple times. He had Bama and many others interested in him over the summer. He had stood firm with this commitment. And we can talk about this, there's a wave of receivers that I do think they add here. So the decision to not sign Kenny Darby and in turn Kenny Darby have to reopen his process will lead to him he's got some other options. He found out about things, and quickly coaches have reached out. So he'll find a landing spot, but it will not be at LSU, which we did not anticipate before today. And I can say the same for a lot of what's going on. And I can tell you, Matt, I haven't experienced this where you have a staff change, because it wasn't like that with Orgeron. It was really a continuation of the staff with some guys let go. At least on offense, this is more wholesale. We don't know the future of the defensive staff, and you've got opinions, rightfully so, right? You've hired Lane Kiffin. You've allowed him to hire a staff. Those guys get to make the decisions now. So we're just seeing I don't want to call it the fallout, but the results of those decisions playing out right before signing day, which is just not something you're used to. So I said it earlier this week, I got a feeling that the signing class is going to look a lot different than it did to start the week, and that's very much proving to be the case here.
Okay, Shea, you did, and Shea Dixon's with us on 3, the Bengal Tiger, of course, part of the Rivals Network there. Get him at Shea Dixon. You mentioned receivers, so Darby out. What are we anticipating here?
I would look for twofold. One, Braden Allen, who is a Louisiana receiver that decommitted from Oklahoma, had gotten an offer from the prior staff, and they had set everything up. He went up on Sunday with his family, met with Lane Kiffin. I do think that they're going to sign him. At the same time, I would expect them to go ahead and push to sign another player who had been very much kind of high on the Ole Miss board. And let me grab his name real quick. We're all over the place.
I understand. Take your time. You're good.
Yeah, let's see. Where are we here? That's not him. It is. Sorry for the delay,
No,
but that's
good.
what happens in recruiting and in real time here. Corey Barber. So Corey Barber is a 4-star receiver. He's out of Alabama. He's a Spain Park kid, which is a pretty notable school over in Clay Chalkville in that Pinson area. He had been committed to Ole Miss. He decommitted as soon as the staff changes happened. He is a top 30 receiver, top 10 player in Alabama. Rivals has him right on the cusp of being a top 150 player overall in the country. We've got him as a top 20 receiver. So really good player. Ole Miss views him as that. So Ole Miss says, all right, decommit, come down here. All the NIL rev share that we could have agreed to then at Ole Miss, we can do that here for you. And they quickly have put together paperwork to send to guys like him, to send to guys like J.C. Anderson, who already announced his flip. So, yes, I would expect that Corey Barber would be another receiver they add to this class. And they are starting this new staff to go back to some receivers that LSU had been recruiting in the past. So do we see them able to kind of get guys to delay their decisions, pull off midnight flips? Like, all of this is a reality right now. And I think that by the not even hour, by the minute right now, we are finding out who is going to be in LSU's class and not. And it's kind of Matt, this is the nature of doing business. And it sucks for the guys who aren't able to sign. And then you kind of have to get used to who are these guys that we haven't even been talking about because LSU didn't recruit them. But this isn't the old LSU staff. This is the Ole Miss staff. And from talking to people around LSU, Matt, who have ties to how everything's unfolding, the opinion is we gave Lane Kiffin the keys. It's his decision. Whatever he and this staff see fit, that's what's going to unfold here for signing day.
Shea Dixon on 3, the Bengal Tiger, at Shea Dixon. Let me ask you about Richard Anderson, and this might be a bigger picture question about Frank Wilson, but we reported earlier today that Anderson had a phone call with Blake Baker and Lane Kiffin, and that he, with his representation, have decided to delay his announcement until he knows who his position coach is going to be and if Frank Wilson's going to be on staff. Is there anything further that you can tell us as this day has developed about Richard Anderson's status and what may happen tomorrow?
Yeah, look, so we're in a dead period, so recruits can't go face-to-face. He didn't get a chance to meet with Lane on Sunday when Lane arrived. But other people, look, there's agents involved, but it's very well known. Bryce Brown is one of the most recognizable head coaches in high school football in Louisiana. He's been a longtime Ed Nicar coach. He's got a lot of connections in New Orleans, a lot of kids on LSU's team right now, but also multiple commits to LSU. You've got Richard Anderson, the number 1 D lineman, a 5-star on Rivals, one of LSU's commits. You've also got Aidan Hall, who's a 4-star safety committed. What does the future hold for Aidan Hall? That's a question to add to the whole thing with what happens with Richard Anderson. And yes, I do think it centers around them wanting to know, A, who is the position coach? Can you give us any indication? B, what does the future hold for Frank Wilson, who more or less spearheaded the recruitment of New Orleans kids who are coming out of schools like Carr and Ogg? And all of these are fair questions to ask. I just don't know if Kiffin will be able to give them those answers. So it's fluid right now. Like, I do believe Richard Anderson wants to play at LSU, but there's also this reality that things have changed staff-wise from where they were before, and how does that change his approach to it? Because, look, Frank's the interim head coach. That's through the bowl game. Well, Matt, what happens in January if Frank gets let go? Does that impact current players because the portal's about to open? Does that impact the recruits you're signing right now, who then might immediately hit the portal? I think that Ed Nicar, Bryce Brown, the people around them, their parents are just trying to avoid any more hurdles that could be put in place for their sons. So that going for, deep conversations with Lane, any conversation about, hey, where are we at? What does the future hold? And what should we do here? Because if not, we are going to need to delay this until we have more answers. And I think it's fair for both sides. Like I said, it's just the situation we're in. When you're hiring a new staff, you haven't publicly fired anyone from the old staff. Those guys are still in the ops building working too. And sort of simultaneously, you're putting together a signing class of the Ole Miss staff and who they want and have been recruiting, and then the LSU staff who has put together this class from the start.
Yeah. Shea, when the dust settles, we'll have to have you back, and we could talk more about how, what the ideal situation is to fix this sort of mess, or is this just going to be a part of it? But in the meantime, I know it's very fluid. We appreciate you for taking a couple of minutes. As always, make sure you get by On3, a part of the Rivals Network there, On3 the Bengal Tiger, and check out Shea here with signing day, the early signing period, opening up on Wednesday. Thank you, Shea.
I appreciate you having me on, Matt.
All right, man. Be well. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.